What's up, nation? Really appreciate you all. Thank you all for tuning in to this thing. We're going to talk about this loss. And of course, we talked about this last week. A win is a win is a win. Now, we will look at everything from A to Z. You guys hear me talk more about preparations, and we have to be persistent in our pursuit. This team, although when we look back at the game, we can say they played pretty good. It wasn't ready for the rain, though. It wasn't prepared for the rain. The turnovers killed us with the Dak Prescott interception. That killed us. The block punt, that killed us. Really, really did. We can look at the coaching philosophy and the coaching staff. Jason Garrett sitting on the sideline, scared to clap now, just staring, not talking to the offensive team as when they come off the field, not talking to the defensive team when they are off the field as well, not making the adjustments as it relates to what we can see from the broadcasting view. Maybe he goes into the locker room during halftime and he makes his proper adjustments. However, we have fallen into a phase, Cowboy Nation, to accept this team just being good. Although we got great players on this team, we are accepting the fact that we are good. And trust me, there's nothing wrong with that. 6-5, one can argue that with a different coaching strategy, with different look of the bounce of the ball, maybe we'll have a better record. We can look at all of those things from A to Z, but the reality speaks for itself. We are 6-5. We still are front running in the NFC East. The Eagles lost their game today, which was pretty much a favor for us because they could have beaten the team that they played against. Seattle Seahawks is a difficult team to play against, but neither here nor there. If we want to go far, we have to match up some things. Maybe we can hit some sparks, some wildfire down the line, but the reality is that why are we looking for those things? Let me know how you all feel. Let me know if there's something that this team can rally amongst themselves and go on this run. Because now that I'm looking at everything from A to Z, the games that we're supposed to win, we lose them. We just don't win the gritty, grindish kind of games. And we have every excuses in the world. It's never Jason Garrett's fault. I hear people today saying it's the weather fault. It had so much rain. People in my chat box saying that, hey, it's the monsoon out there. Don't you know that the weather have no favors? Don't you know that Jerry Jones himself is a billionaire? We knew since Thursday, or pretty much, I had people commenting since Tuesday of this week, actually, and Wednesday saying that, hey, it's going to be rain. If I don't know about you all, if I had millions of dollars, I can reach out to somebody and say, hey, we got a couple of set of water holes. We can start shooting the field with, making sure that the conditionings are going to be simulation for the nation, are going to be similar to what it's going to be like in Boston. We may not can simulate the weather, but dog it, we're going to make sure we're going to test out, can you pass a wet ball? It's preparation. Opportunity is when we get these things together. And we understand that success is only when preparation meets opportunity. And if we are not ready for this type of thing, then we will have these type of losses. Law, it's not the end of the world. That's what a lot of people have been saying. You want me to lie to you and say, hey, we're going to go on this run. All of a sudden, the light switch is going to kick on. This team that we've seen for the previous weeks are going to remove themselves from that. And everything is going to be on the same page. Everything is going to be on the same keel. It don't work that way, Cowboy Nation. Life doesn't work that way. And if you think that life worked that way, I have a cold, hard truth for you. This world will chew you up and spit you out. At this point, trends and analysis, gut, and all of these things goes into place. When you want to be successful in life, you have to properly plan. You have to execute, of course, your goals. You have to be able to understand and study the opposition. You have to see where your weaknesses are at and overcome those shortcomings. We are dead last in special teams. There's 3 phases to a football team. Special teams, offense and defense. And if we have one chink in our armor, if we have one hole that needs to be filled, then the opposing team can play that against us. A lot of times when we was going live, when I was going over the game, there was a situation where a delay of game happened and occurred. The cognitive aspect of it was that the New England Patriots didn't have a guy covering a wide receiver on the edge. They had to move Elderman closer inside. So he wasn't even, I think they probably had 10 men on the field. I have to wait and see they all 22 and see what exactly happened. But the guy that was back there, Elderman, he had to go and cover one of the receivers. The other receiver motioned back inside. There would have been a prime opportunity to hurry up and snap the ball and pass the ball. Maybe the weather, maybe that's the situation. Delay of game. Very next play, I ain't lying to you. Very next play, illegal shift, illegal motion. We can go back and forth about the officials. They causing the Cowboys to lose. The officials don't like the Dallas Cowboys. When we go into a game, in any situation, anybody that played anybody's football from middle school and beyond, you know when you goes into the enemy's territory, when it's the away game especially, the coaches used to say there's going to be eggs thrown at you. There's going to be people, mama and daddy, uncle, waving at you with the middle finger. There's going to be the opposing officials that's locally from that town that's going to really call calls in favor of the team that you're playing against. We know they're coming in. You have to be prepared for those things. Jerry Jones got to understand that he tried to fire Roger Goodell. That's taking $45 million. I don't know about you all, but if somebody take $5 from me, I'm going to look at them sideways. I ain't going to trust that person. Jerry Jones tried to take $45 million from Roger Goodell. So if you think that we're going to get some favorable calls when everything gets satellite or transferred all the way to New York, where Roger Goodell's probably watching the game on his 90-inch TV, sitting back, chewing on some of his popcorn, watching the Dallas Cowboys, because you know he got his eyes on the Cowboys. And he's saying, look, elbows down, ball up. We're going to overlook that. That was a fumble. Go with the call that was on the field. You see, Mari Cooper, the ball hit the ground. You think we're going to get some favorable calls? Don't you think it's just like that, I want to say, Buffalo Wild Wings commercial, you know, when they push a button and then all of a sudden the sprinkler come out of the ground. It's just like that with Roger Goodell. He probably sitting there saying, okay, call tripping. Matter of fact, call it again. That's the reality of it. But neither here nor there. We have to look at this team and say to ourselves, can we figure out ways to overcome our circumstances? Do we have a coach that can look at the players in their eyes? Although everybody's saying that it's never the coaching fault, and he don't like to parade on the sideline and sully and denigrate his players in live action. There's only a small few coaches that was able to win multiple Super Bowls without parading on the sideline. But every one of those coaches had a certain aura about themselves. They had a certain spontaneity. I just don't see it. I don't feel it with Jason Garrett. And I'm the only person that can tell you guys right now, I got a secret. I want Jason Garrett to prove me wrong. But so far, he's been proving me right. Jason Garrett can't fight himself out of a wet paper bag. He can't do it. He can't fight himself out of a wet paper bag. And Jerry Jones is enabling this. We got so comfortable with being just good, mediocre. Trust me, I think that Jason Garrett is a wonderful person. I think he is. But as a coach, look, I'm just having my reservations strongly. Let me know. Why should we give this man multiple chances and opportunity? I know when the ball is wet, it's not his fault. He can't control the weather. Matter of fact, he can't control when Jason Witten, the old reliable, who's not reliable at this point, ball bouncing off his hands. He can't tell the guy to catch the ball. He can't go out there and look at the defense and say, hey, Chris Richard, this is your scheme, supposedly. But although it's your scheme, we don't want to give you the titleingship. This is still Rob Marinelli's cover too. It's not your fault that we having issues as it relates to linebackers and beyond, not shooting the gaps, or we having some missed tackling issues. But last I checked, the head coach is the head for the reason. And so far in my household, I got to use this analogy because I have yet to fail to find anybody Two, out-debate me on this. If this is my house, I control everything that comes in, and I control everything that goes out. I'm the end-all, be-all. I'm the voice of reasoning at this house. And if anybody comes into this house and tell me what to do, don't you think that I'm going to chin check them right then and there in the presence of my house? I don't see that, and I don't get that from Jason Garrett. If the situations and the issues are continuing to happen, just like the Keith O'Quinn guy, ranked 31st and 32nd in multiple categories as it relates to special teams, at some point, Cowboy Nation, we want the head coach to walk up there boldly and say to Keith O'Quinn, pack him up, get it going. Let me do this. I'm the head. Or you got to get this thing going right and better and properly. Or at some point, Jason Garrett need to walk up and talk to Chris Richard and say, these are your troops. And then there's a man. Let's be real about it. Jason Garrett can't win a conversational piece with Chris Richard. If you think I'm just talking to you guys for the fun of it, let's be real about it. As a man, we won't see that Jason Garrett questioning Chris Richard. We won't see that. Papa Rob Marinelli. It's amazing to us. It's amazing to us. Whereas we look at this defensive side of the ball and we can see the flaws and the issues from thousands and thousands of miles away, or from right down the street away. We're not in the locker room. And the same head coach that's running this operation, he can't identify with this stuff? Cowboy Nation. I don't know about you all, but Jerry Jones, in the last 20 years, and I'm going to say this before I go, just listen to what I got to say. Hear me out. In the last 20 years, Jerry Jones, even though we haven't won anything that's necessary, right? This brother has made billions of dollars. That stadium in Arlington, state of the art. Multi-billion-dollar stadium. Oh, Law, I'm not going to stop there. The workout facility, $3.5 billion with a B. You can go work out. You can go look good. You can go run up and down the Star in Frisco. Jerry Jones bought him a helicopter. Also purchased him a beautiful yacht. What I'm trying to say is that even though you guys may be in misery, even though you guys may run around and support this team from A to Z just like I am right now, we have to look at the reality of it. Jerry Jones is not going to fire himself. And even in the course of these last 20 years, the brother been elected or been selected into the Hall of Fame, for better words. So while it's misery for us, man, he's eating off the fat of the land. Where do you think that he's having miseries at? He's still making money daily. Matter of fact, he might be on his private plane now, drinking him some Johnny Walker Blue. Yes, he's not flying the plane, but yes, the truth is the hardest pill to swallow. We've been collective fans. If you were born in the 80s and you've been following this team, collectively, you've been more of a Cowboy fan than Jerry Jones. He bought the team financially. All we got is emotions on the end. And yes, we can say that we purchased a lot of tickets and these sorts of things, but the buck stopped with Jerry Wayne Jones. He owns this team. He bought it in 86 or 87, 89. He bought it in 89, I believe. So he owns this team. And all we can do is sit back and say, man, Jerry, those 3 years where we won the Super Bowls, those 3 Super Bowls where we won it, yeah, that's cool and all. But he had failed us completely, year after year. Because last I checked, let me know if I'm wrong. If he can go out and buy these fancy yachts, build $1 billion stadiums, and build $1 billion workout facility, but he can't find him a coach that can really walk around and hold players accountable. And let me know that his allocations of resources is all about him and not about the star. Because we demand elite ownership. We demand elite coaching. So you mean to tell me you're going to take a developmental coach and it's taking him 10 years and he's still having these same mistakes over and over again? Trust me, Jerry Jones is a great salesman. And Jason Garrett may be a wonderful guy off camera. We may understand that, hey, all of his motivational speeches and these sorts of things are good. But the reality, Cowboy Nation, is that you can purchase all of these fancy things for yourself, but for your common fans like we are, you can't go get us a dynamic head coach that's going to challenge the opposition, and also we can have good coaches going to challenge the players that's on our sidelines. I don't know, man. I don't know what you guys do for a living. I don't know what you guys do on a daily situation. But in reality, we demand excellency, and we're not getting it. We can talk about it's everybody's fault but the head coaches. We can say that. But the trends and the analysis and all of the historical data supports what I'm saying about this coaching staff. We haven't did anything. One could argue and say, hey, this issue has been going on before Jason Garrett. That's a fair argument. However, Jerry Jones, we need to have a wake-up call with him. It's supposed to be America's team. And last I checked, we shouldn't be second or third or fourth place in anybody's category. That's been my time. I really thank you all for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute. I'm out. Let's go, Cowboys. Let's figure this thing out. Let's go beat those Bills. Let's go beat those rest of the teams on our menu. Let's eat. Salute.